Oh, hey guys, it's Alan, a Boston fan. And I just want to make a quick video. I've gotten a couple packages and things, a couple gifts from members in the YouTube community. I just want to give them shouts out, show off what I gave. It's just so appreciated and so much fun. I sit here at my desk and I watch YouTube videos. I do my best to comment um, and do a lot of trading card database and whatnot. And it's just a lot of fun to hear from people in the community. And so I guess I'm going to show it off. So the first one. And I think this deserves to go in front of the Battle of Lexington and Jerry. Got a message from Tony Black, who sent me a couple things to start a couple TTM projects. And they're amazing pictures, and I think some other people have shown them off. But this great picture of Wrigley Field, and I just love how he captures the sky in there, and just a great panoramic view of Wrigley Field. So I anticipate using this for a TTM project, and I think the first person that I'm going to send to with this is Frank DiPino. I think he had the win in the first night game at Wrigley. So I think that that's going to go out to him first. So that, and then this picture, which is just amazing, which is, of course, Fenway Park. And just a great view of the monster and leading out to the center field garage doors. And this is fantastic. And so this will start another. I have many multi-Red Sox projects. And I'm thinking I might try to go after Red Sox players that I followed when I was a kid. So the first one that's going to go out to is, I think, Danny Darwin, who was I would say my first favorite Red Sox player while I was following the Red Sox. Now I love Phil Plantier as well, but that's when he was in the minor leagues and I could watch him at Pawtucket. But Danny Darwin started the first Red Sox game I've ever been to. He also threw a one-hitter against the White Sox in 1993. And that was the first big Red Sox moment that I remember. I was at Pawtucket that night, and they were kind of updating every inning on through the PA just how Danny Darwin was doing. That was the first time I remember being super excited about something that the Red Sox were doing. So I think that Darwin will be the first one for that, and Frank DiPino will be the first one for that, and then I'll just have two Red Sox and Cubs going. Also, interestingly enough, these are essentially sister ballparks, right? I think Fenway opened in April 1912. I think Wrigley opened in 1914, and those are currently the two oldest ballparks in America. So pretty cool little set there. Tony, I appreciate it. If you haven't checked him out, he's got a great TTM channel. He pushes me always to try to get TTMs out, and I go through stretches where I get a bunch out and they lag, and I always keep track of who's coming back just because I have cards of so many people. So, Tony, thank you so much for those gifts, and thank you for the start of two new projects. And then the next one I just got in is a package from your friend and mine, Shane at Shoebox Legends. And he had a Mike Napoli card of him holding the Red Sox Trophy Stadium Club that he upgraded recently. And then I, of course, collect Red Sox cards with World Series and big moments on them. And so that was high on my trade list. So I said, hey, he offered it up. I said, yeah, I definitely want that. And then he included a little bit more than just the Napoli card. And usually I open these like I did on Tony Black's off camera. But then I saw on the back, a 1959 Fleer Ted Williams. What? Just as a gift. So I decided I needed to open the whole package on camera. So Shane, thank you for your generosity. I just got finished actually watching you and Brent's video on the, post-playing days cards. And Brent showed off the I don't know what it was, the vinyl cards of favorites for Fenway, which I just added all of them onto my trade list on TCDB. So usually when I watch Shane's videos, or Brent Richards for that matter, I pause the video frequently to add cards to my trade list on TCDB because that's where I pick up my non-vintage cards. So let's see what goodies Shane has provided for us today. So off the bat, we've got a 2014 Yoenis Cespedes red. I think this was like a Target exclusive red. So it's the update 2014. Of course, he was traded for John Lester. We're just going to start stacking right there. Short tenure. Oh, this is awesome. So here's a framed mini Ellsbury game-used jersey card. That's fantastic. Oh, that's so sick. I think these framed cards with the minis in there are just really neat. So they create the mini card. I think there's a spot here, it feels like it's in a penny sleeve, but where you can actually touch the jersey, you can. And so they create the mini card, and then they put it in a larger size card that would fit a normal top loader and stuff. Oh, that's so cool. Next up is my man, Pedro Martinez from the Upper Deck Ovation. Spring training image. This is the classic, if you can see Pedro face when he's throwing. Love it. Next one of my favorite players growing up, Nomar. This is his Ultra. I like when they got the kind of the refractor-ish name on the bottom. And this is 99 Ultra. So this is right at the tail end of when I stopped collecting hardcore, like buying a lot of packs. This is great. This is on my want list. So this is an Upper Deck Masterpieces framed, so it's a little indented. That's Nutto John Papelbon after striking out the last batter of the 2007 World Series. He threw his glove into the air, and then he went nuts. And he was the poster boy for that 2007 World Series team. He was on a flatbed truck or one of the duck boats, I don't remember, with the Dropkick Murphys during the parade, rocking out for the entire time. Ooh, this is a cool one. I don't know exactly what it is. It's like a vinyl or a patch of Mookie Betts from 2019 Heritage. Yeah, it's some kind of fabric. Maybe it's a patch. This is super cool. So I love this set. This depicts the 2018 World Series champion Red Sox. I also have the full 1970 top set. I was able to pick most of it up at an estate sale for like 25 bucks. So I have an affinity. I remember when this set was coming out, within days of its release, I bought the Red Sox team set, then added the high numbers that year who had been on the World Series team. So one day that'll hit a binder. So this is just such a cool card. This will go into the Mookie collection, which I don't share with my daughter, but I kind of share with my daughter. She knows they're not hers, but she also likes looking at them. Mookie was her favorite player when she was like 2 and 3, mostly because of the name. I think she liked the name Mookie. Next up is a really sweet Mookie Betts, same year. That would be his All-Star card. I'm not sure if I have this. I don't know if this was in the regular team set. I don't recognize it offhand. So that's pretty sweet. Shane, thank you very much. And then we got the batting leaders from, again, the same year. Has Betts and JD Martinez, 1-2 in the American League. And I, again, have to check whether the leaders cards were included in that team set. They should be part of that master set either way. And then to top it off, we've got the regular issue Mookie Betts, number 78. I think these are just really attractive cards, and this is fantastic. This will go, now I won't have one for that team set, but this will go into my Mookie collection directly. Next up is Big Papi, one of my 2 favorite Red Sox of all time, Pedro being probably my first. And this was, I believe, 2004 Cracker Jack. And I was buying some packs. I was in college. I'd go over to Target. I worked at Target that summer overnight. It sucked, but I would get a little discount on packs. And so I bought up a few of these. Never hit anything big. I think the Alex Rodriguez, that year's first card in a Yankees uniform, was at the time priced pretty high, but of course I wanted to keep it. Now here's the card that started it all off, the Mike Napoli holding the Red Sox trophy 2013. He's got the championship t-shirt on. This was such a fantastic year. Here's the back. You can see the giant beard. They called themselves the Band of Bearded Brothers, if I recall. And most players on that team grew amazing facial hair. It was a lot of fun to watch. Of course, that came on the heels of the bombing at the Boston Marathon, and was a pretty big deal. Now we've got a couple minis. There's Rafi Devers and 2 Rafi Devers. Oh, cool. So we've got these cool Allen and Ginter backs. This is from 2021. This is from 2023. Sorry that I don't know much about these. I just don't have a lot of Ginter in my collection, but these are really cool. They're tobacco-sized cards. Devers off to a slow start, but he's starting to, I wouldn't say heat up, but he's got his average up above 200, which is great. Next is awesome. Another game used memorabilia, Shane. That's so cool. Trevor Story, who is hitting the snot out of the ball currently. He's had a couple injury-plagued years, been pretty difficult, but he has been red hot this year. I think he's hitting something like 330, if I recall the last box score I checked. So this is the first year in a while that the Red Sox have actually been decent, and they're kind of fun to watch. So I don't watch a lot of the games. I just don't have time with 2 kids, but I do check the box scores every day. Here we've got Nick Pivetta on the Heritage card. I don't have any of the Red Sox cards from this year's Heritage. That's neat seeing the 75. he was a solid pitcher for us for those years that were just kind of in between and down. So I don't know that he got enough love for what he was doing for the team. He won 10 games, 2022 and 2023. He had good stuff, but again, he was playing for some bad Red Sox teams. And then, oh, this is so sick too. Shane, you have outdone yourself. Here's a game used card of Xander Bogaerts. He's a player from both the 2013 and 2018 Red Sox, and I didn't have a relic card of his. That's really awesome. So these Heritage relic cards are just so cool. So we got the Clubhouse collection for Trevor Story, and here's one of Xander. Oh, that's awesome. And then, awesome, 1959 Fleer. Ted Williams, gunning as a pastime. Now, if you know anything about Ted Williams, he was the ultimate sportsman, right? So he could fly. Obviously, he flew in 2 wars. He was a great fisherman by all accounts, from people who down in Florida up through Minnesota. And he did hunting as a pastime. He used to shoot pigeons with, I don't know if it was a rifle or a BB gun, to help train his batting eye. So he'd do that at Fenway Park. He'd pull out a gun and he'd shoot pigeons in the rafters because he thought it helped him focus his eyes. So that's it from 2 great YouTubers. Shane, thank you so much for the generosity. I can't begin to just say how wonderful this is, and I'm so excited to add so many of these cards to my collection. And Tony, I'm so excited to start new TTM projects. Usually it's the projects that get me going in TTM and motivate me to write more letters. So the generosity of this community continues to be just dumbfounding in terms of just kindness and discussions and talking about cards. And then every now and then you get just really sick gifts that just blow your mind, as my mind is blown right now. So I'll give a shout out in the description when I do this. I'll probably tag both Tony and Shane in the title. And I hope you check out their channels. If you're following me, I don't know why you wouldn't be following either of those guys, but in case you are, please subscribe to their channels. You're going to find some great content. Tony, if you want to get into TTMs, he's the guy to follow. And Shane does a fabulous job of going through modern day cards, but putting a vintage spin on them and finding gems where you might not know gems exist. And so again, I appreciate both these YouTubers. They help push my collection forward every day in watching their videos. So guys, I thank you so much for the gifts. So keep collecting, keep having fun. Adios, amigos.